Ouch. But no, she won't be.
Yeah.
A good morning, a good evening, or a good afternoon, and thank you for joining us once again, the Monsters of Gaming. Or should I say, the Monsters of Tabletop. We are once again returning to our roots, if you will, of this nice, wonderful thing that we call a D&D. Now, to reclaim where we were just a few moments prior, for me and the other guys, it's been about 4 days, give or take, maybe 5. Let's see, Sunday to Monday to Tuesday. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
4 or 5. Call it what you will. Come on, phone, catch up with me. Thank you, baby. Okay, so quick note. So the original crew, which will be the mechanical battle maid / anime girl Necronick, the man named after his own jug class, Juggernaut, and K-Mod, not seen in this episode right now, being a dragoon, aka the angriest spear chugger I've ever seen. And I'm not using that in the racial term. He has tried to impale a small child already. Which to me is just absolutely horrible without thinking that what would happen if he actually impaled her, which Juggernaut thought of immediately afterwards. Yeah. It's like, oh, don't impale her!
I threw him hard.
I'm just saying, there's a reason why I think you can swing him through buildings and stuff. I think you have purpose reason. So, our adventurers, those 3, made it to the island where they were introduced to Schick, who happens to be the crowned prince's younger brother and a bard at the Bardic College. After a little bit of information that was gained, they found out that they were there to find a special treasure in the center of the island. But not on the top of the island, but in the underground center of the island. You know, just personally, you could probably just a few sticks of dynamite blow a hole open, but they don't want to do that. Anyway, also, Sheik is currently embattled in a battle of ownership of his daughters, who happen to be red dragon halflings, because the bards decided to seduce a dragon and found out she was a top. So, from there, they found out about a closed-off religious section where they believed in all certainty something wasn't quite right. Upon entering the place, they found a young girl who got kidnapped, a land full of illusions, a young girl who got attached to a special symbiotic mask and is now off giggling somewhere in the distance, and they ran into something with glowing purple blood.
That stands 30 feet tall.
That stands 30 plus foot tall. It could have been hunched, it could have been long, we don't know this.
Well, you do.
Well, I know exactly what the hell that thing is, and you guys are not ready for it yet. Now, when it last left off, Juggernaut had just gently pushed over a giant stone sarcophagus and found, holy crap, there's a stairwell going down. Now, as the adventurers continue getting close, looking down the hallway, a creaking sound is heard above them. Along with the words, "Look out below, fat asses!" The roof begins to collapse slightly as a bunch of debris lands on top of K-Mod. Coughing and battering themselves
Not to
off.
interrupt or anything. I think I know what the evil creature is.
It's a good. You may have a good idea of what it is. Out of the dust and smoke, 2 individuals stand coughing.
As a references to something we've talked about many times before.
K-Man, I became the human spear. Hey, K-Man. Through the debris and everything as such, stand 2 figures in the dark. A tall gentleman in white robes carrying a very strange-looking bladed weapon, and a slightly confused and slightly upset at him young elven girl, her slightly upset hyena pet, all looking confused. And of course, right now, an unconscious K-Mod. Because unfortunately, both figures and the debris and the pet hyena all landed on top of him. These 2 individuals will be introduced to you as Deathgasm, aka that man over there. Deathgasm, aka the Vasto Lorde, a being that does not need weapons or armor to fight, but he will use them if he has to. And Mama Bear, a young elven enhancer hunter, who specializes in ranged combat, pet-based combat, and the ability to heal her companions. After you guys talk and Juggernaut digs K-Mod out of the hole and throws him over his shoulder for safekeeping, Juggernaut,
They can't use it as a human baseball bat.
Listen,
Yes, you can.
I said safekeeping. You do with him what you will.
Ooh, I have a new toy to play with.
Oh my goodness, why did I do this? Anyway, anyway.
Poor TMOG. He's going to be Juggernaut.
Well, hopefully he comes back before he's used as something. He comes back, oh wait, what? Before he becomes somebody else's weapon. All right, so Juggernaut and Necro, because K-Mod's unconscious at the moment, filled him on the details of the young woman, the strange, gigantic monstrosity that just disappeared but left behind glowing blood, and the large stairwell leading underneath the cathedral. So, I'll let it off to one of you two, Juggernaut or Necro. You can take it from here. Explain to these two what you're about to do.
Necro, since you are more eloquent with words, I will let you tell them what's going on.
Well, he's holding K-Mod on one hand, going like a rattle. Okay.
Well, we were sent here to investigate this whole area because it's been closed off to the public due to murders / missing people, and we were told to search 2 areas in particular. This being one of them for a lady, can't remember the name. Kyle?
What, you think I'm supposed to remember it? You guys are supposed to remember it. I'm just kidding. They're looking for the Saint Maria.
And then also in the Bard, in
Bard College?
Yeah, Bard College.
For the
I was gonna
Archibald.
say the Bard Institute, but I couldn't think of that.
The Bard Institute works too. It's the same kind of thing, you know?
And we're going to be looking for the Archbard there. So, since we found this stairway, I was going to ask Juggernaut and, the unconscious baseball bat.
K-Mod deals 1d8 damage when swung.
If maybe we should proceed downward.
Okay, so you two, after them telling you this story about illusions, monsters, and the idea of going anywhere, if you have any questions about why you should go into the basement, or are y'all ready to go start kicking some arse?
I already have a fire spell
Yes,
ready to light the way.
Mama Bear has already prepared her light spell. She's ready for combat. Deathgasm, are you ready for this?
I'm ready to hide in the shadows and stab big monsters.
It's a good thing I gave him move silently and hide. All right. I'm just meditating, gang. Jug, please no. K-Mod is just meditating. Please, Jug, no. Please, Jug, yes. All right.
Jug, we run into anything, use him in the spear.
Oh
like
my god,
wait,
damn. Anyways.
Wait, would that increase the attack damage?
I looked it up before I prepped this idea up. A corpse does 1d8 damage. So it's 1d8 plus 10 with Jug. I don't know if he'll take damage, but we'll think about that. He's got some pretty thick armor.
But
So-
does the spear add any extra damage?
He's kind of just like holding the spear on his back. He's carrying the corpse.
Okay.
He's making it walk and talk like it's a ventriloquist puppet. He's pretending he's like, he's whatchamacallit,
Jose Jalapeno.
Jose Jalapeno on a steak. He gave it a Spanish accent.
Never mind. Let's not answer this question.
So Deathgasm and Mom Bear take the lead. Mom Bear has her pet with her. She can sense the head. And, of course, Deathgasm can meld into the shadows and disappear. So you guys are pretty safe right now. As you go down the stairs, you notice that, strangely enough, these stairs go on for an awful long time. Long enough for the weathered walls of the church to slowly transform into a mineral composite of dirt and rock.
Are we there yet? Are we there?
I will
Shut the fuck up.
I will turn this quest right around, young man. I'll do it. Anyway, so
It was your idea.
it was your idea. I don't want to hear from you. So anyways, as you make it to the bottom of the stairwell, you enter a large room. This room is the cathedral's viewing room, if you will, except something seems awful wrong. Instead of there being wonderfully staged coffins, kept clean and tidy. There are chains on the walls, a few hung bodies.
Sounds like a good time.
It does indeed, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
Kinky.
kinky again. All right, kinky. All right. As you enter the room, you notice that several of the coffins are wide open. There's the sound of dripping water in the distance. The smell of mildew fills the air. And in the dirt, strangely enough, there are bare footprints of somebody who was walking down there in their bare feet, and that was recent, as the dust still hasn't fallen over the feet. There are three.
How big are said feet?
The feet seem about the average size of a human's, not very big, probably a male based on the size. There are 3 visible locations to travel. There's a long hallway, and there are 2 shut doors. Mom Bear's light spell is casting a dim glow on the walls, as if the walls themselves are attempting to eat the light.
So, is the hallway in front of us and the doors on either side of us?
No, both doors are to your left, and the hallway is dead ahead of you. You're in a large room.
Right.
There's lots of. This place looks like it was ransacked. There's tipped over coffins. There's materials on the ground for embalming, and there are bodies chained up to walls. Some look like they were trying to claw their way free.
Okay. I'd like to check one of the doors on the side.
Okay, do you want to choose door number 1 or door number 2?
I'd like to leave it up to majority ruling, but
Okay.
what do you guys think?
Which door do you want
Door
Juggernaut to
1
check?
or door 2?
You 3 take door number 1. I'll take door number 2.
All right. Clever thought. You guys cool with that? All right. So, the 2 groups look at each other and do the 1, 2, 3 signal. Both open up and step forward into the same room.
I suggest Juggernaut uses K-Man.
Okay, sorry. 1, 2, 3, and as Deathgasm swiftly opens up the door, Juggernaut uses K-Mod as a battling ram and breaks through the other door. Roll a d20, Necro.
Okay.
Oh no.
I need to know how much is this going to hurt.
120.
16.
Okay, so his helmet and armor save him from the impact this time. You're in a slightly smaller room now. The room appears to have been a study of some sort. There's a broken bed off in the distance. There's a still lit candle. There is a closed closet, a bureau, and a small box containing nobody knows what yet. Gang, what you doing?
Is that in both rooms, or is that...
It's one room. You guys opened up 2 doors into one room.
Oh, okay.
It's ironic. You guys both just like look at each other. Just come like, oh yeah, oh okay. You know, Deathgasm almost catches a torso to the face. You're like, whoa, hey. Jeez, come on.
You almost got K-Man in the face.
I'm not a monster yet. Give me a second.
There's a small box that no one knows what's in it.
Yeah, it's just a box. It's a box. No one knows what's in the dresser or the bureau either. It's just a box is sitting.
I say we should search the room.
So, hang on. I have a second level spell here that I can do, and it's called Arcane Lock.
Okay, so before you go doing anything, maybe you should check to see if it's locked or not.
This is true.
Because if it's not locked, then you
I
cast.
have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
I'll embark into the shadow of the chest and check it out.
That's another one. Anybody else have any ideas?
Neko, could you scan for any, illusion magic?
Yeah, so let's scan for illusion magic.
There's no magic going on in this room whatsoever, unless you believe in magic. And then there's. Yeah, so Deathgasm makes his way over to the box and slowly slips himself into it. Inside the box is a handful of coin, a small sacrificial knife, which of course they would be using in this church, and a small ruby. Nothing really to set home to him, some basic items that he could use to sell later.
I would suggest maybe searching the cabinets and closets.
All right.
See if we can find any more maybe possible loot or clues.
Okay. So to speed up the process here, I'm just going to speed it up for you. Mama Bear searches the bureau. Juggernaut searches the closet. Necro searches the cabinets. And you find a small book. Written within the book are pages, days, weeks. It stops at months. However, those months were years ago. Reading through the notice, you read it's from the original cleric of this church, as he begins to speak about the madness that's going on, people going missing, the strange masked people that show up. He starts talking about melting down the brass in the building to create strange helmets and clubs and weapons. His last one is the ramblings of a madman saying the music will make them understand. He has to find Mother Miranda. She's the key to all of this.
Intriguing.
Intriguing, yes.
Well, I mean, there's only one place for us to now look, and that would be down the dark, creepy fucking hallway.
As you guys go to leave the room, roll a d20, Necro.
Oh, God. We got an 18.
Necro, as you come out the door, you catch the glimpse of something that just horrifies you to the core. Standing in front of you is a tall, lanky individual. His arms reach the floor. His feet massive in size, like the size of a small short sword in size. He picks up his huge hand and waves at you with his red hair, red bald nose, and strange crooked teeth before vanishing before you.
Okay. Deathgasm, summon that fucking tactical nuke.
On this location now, firing. No, wait!
Can I summon the nuke?
Not yet. We'll give him a few turns. You make it into the room and realize that there are no footprints in the location where Necro saw this strange creature, with its head the size of 3 cabbages, rotund stomach, long, scraggly arms with giant hands, striped in color. Weird creature. I don't think I've ever seen such a creature before.
Okay, so Kyle, can I perform all my scans?
Yes, you could perform all your scans if you want. It'll just take a second. Go on.
Sure.
Okay, so Necro goes through his scans. He does detect poison coming from one of the bodies. There's a small outline of magic where the creature once stood. But he couldn't detect what its alignment was, whether it was good, evil, chaotic, etc. All it did was waved at him, but still, he's got this creepy image stuck in his head now. This creepy looking thing just clownily looking at him.
Are you dealing with fucking Pennywise down here?
I didn't know. There's no Pennywise in this game. Anyway, so the hallway.
Yeah, let's not trust this dungeon master over here.
Rule number 1 of Dungeons and Dragons: never trust the DM.
Never trust the narrator.
Never trust the narrator. You slowly proceed down the hallway, edging closer and closer to the end of the hall. There, at the end of the hallway, as you walk closer, you slowly see a door with light glowing from underneath it. And you hear a small argument, a yelling, a screaming of some sorts. A woman, get away from me. What are you? Leave me be. Let me be with my people. You're about 30 feet from the door.
So she won't really know, like, we were around.
No. The hallway is stifling all the noise you're making. Deathgasm's stuck to the walls. Mama Bear's got her light close. She wouldn't see you guys coming right now. Whoever's in that room would not know you're there.
Right. So she would be talking to something else.
She is. The voice is female, and yes, it is talking to something. whatever it is not talking back.
My pet starts snuffling at the door.
Ah, so Mama Bear's pet hyena has walked up to the door and is snuffling at it, just sniffing at it.
Does it sense anything, Mama Bear?
It backs up from the door rather quickly. It shuffles back about 10 feet. The bristles on the back of its neck stand straight up. Something's on the other side of that door, and
that is not supposed to be there.
That is not supposed to be there, and that little hyena does not like what's on the other side of that door.
My robotic senses are saying I should perform all my scans again.
Yes, Deathgasm.
I'll bark into the shadows to investigate the room.
All right. Deathgasm makes it to the door, but can't pass it because of the light. However, from the doorway and Necro scanning, he can detect that there are 3 creatures in that room. One is a humanoid, and 2 are of unknown chaotic origins. They are neither chaotic evil or chaotic good. Deathgasm is standing next to the door. Bristleback, Mama Bear's hyena, is about 10 feet back. The rest of you are about 30 feet back. Whatever's on the other side of that door, it's causing all kinds of screw ups.
So how do we proceed, people?
I don't know. This is up to you guys.
I know. I'm asking the group.
You could bust down the door and go in blaze, guns firing. You could be stealthy and open the door slowly. Magic, teleportation. Twice a day, Deathgasm can teleport 20 feet in any direction of his choosing. So he can actually teleport through the door and be in the room if he chooses to. You guys could just rush the door if you want. Also, you guys really don't know how big this room is. You only know that she's talking to 2 people, and those 2 people are not talking back. Juggernaut just grabs K-Mod and runs down the hallway. Just shoves K-Mod through the door. Huh?
You said I could teleport.
Yes.
But if I were to hold on to someone and teleport,
you could teleport
with me.
It would take half the power, so you could teleport 10 feet. But yes, you could grab one other person and teleport 10 feet if you choose.
Jug, I have an idea.
Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Or do I? Who knows?
Jug, me and you go right next to the door. I grab you, teleport. Mama Bear and Nick charge through the door. We wipe them.
What do you say? Sound like a good plan, you guys?
Yeah.
Let's ask K-Mod. Oh, that's right.
He's currently knocked out.
He's currently about to be used as a weapon.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't sound like a half-bad plan, but we also don't know what we're going at.
Well, you're about to find out, because Juggernaut and Deathgasm have just teleported 10 feet into the room in front of you.
Here comes me and Mom Bear, I guess.
You, Mama Bear, and Bristleback burst through the door. The room is about 40 feet in size. The young woman is standing in the shadows away, and there are 2 strangely dressed creatures. They stand just slightly shorter than the rest of you. About a head shorter, if you could consider that, seeing as their heads are the size of 3 bowling balls. They have long, gangly arms ending in small, dented fingers, striped clothing, big, gigantic feet or shoes, perhaps. You can't really tell from the distance. You're kind of mortified at looking at them. Deathgasm and Juggernaut both teleport in. The creatures both look around in shock. As Mama Bear, Bristleback, and Necro come rushing in, they take a few steps back with some strange squeaking sounds. The woman screams. The woman screams, "Who are you? What are you doing in this church? Help! Help!" Yeah, we're trying. We just got in the room. Give us 10 seconds here. Roll for initiative.
D20?
D20, baby. You know the rolls.
4 people, or you do Mom Bear?
I'll do Mama Bear too.
So the first one I get is 15.
15. Okay, good to hear.
Next up is a 2.
Ooh, that's not good.
And last but not least is a 16.
Okay. Oh, come on. Hang on a second, guys. Something's going on with my recording here. What the heck's going on here? What the? Okay, I seem to have lost my mouse. Wait, oh, my mouse is back. What the heck? Sorry about that, folks. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay, we're gonna have to roll a d20 here. So the roll for Mama Bear is going to be a 12. Okay. What were your rolls again?
So 15, 2, and 16.
15, 2, and 16. Okay, what's this? Who has joined
That's
us?
the K-Mod.
Is K-Mod coming too? Is K-Mod going to wake up and join the combat?
K-Mod?
Damn it, I wanted to use my line too.
Well, you still have the chance to do it. He hasn't talked yet. Mother Moran, the woman...
Well, I mean, Juggernaut, you can just start beating him until he wakes up. I don't know.
I
don't like this.
I don't like this.
No, the line I was going to use was hold my K-Mod.
So do I roll another one?
Don't worry, I got this. I got this, Negro. I got this.
So am I still like loopy or am I awake now? Or
Well,
should I
you-
wait next time?
No, you're coming too. Just give me a second, buddy. I got this. Give me a second. We got this. The woman in the room screams and puts herself into the corner. She's exhausted. You can see the sweat dripping down her forehead. One of the creatures turns, looks at the group, and pulls out a small pie-like object.
I'm hungry, so...
Well, I am hungry, so... Okay, so he rolls it, and it's an 11. Necro, could you roll a d20 as well, please?
Sure.
Sorry.
I got 14.
Okay. So the creature throws a pie at you. It barely misses you. It strikes the wall next to you when you hear a tearing hissing sound. Necro turns to look and notices that the wall is being eaten away from where the pie had struck it.
Some extra pie right there. I don't want none of that.
Juggernaut, it's your move. You do not notice that K-Mod is rousing from a slumber yet. This is where we have to see what alignment is, folks. We get to see what alignment is.
Remember, you do 1d8 plus 10 with the K-Man in your hands.
I love that about this. Somebody actually thought about this. Somebody actually thought about this. So, Juggernaut, you are 30 feet away from the closest clown, the one that just threw the pie at Necro.
What was that?
You're 30 feet
30
away.
feet from the closest clown.
I didn't say they were clowns. I said
You said clown.
I said they were strange clown-like creatures. I didn't say they were clowns. They're obviously not clowns if they're throwing acid pies. That's not funny.
Well, they're twisted clowns.
They're twisted,
Like
all right.
Pennywise.
They're not Pennywise. There's something worse than Pennywise. Anyway,
Pennywise didn't have orange hair. He had green hair.
Anyway, Juggernaut, it's your turn. What are you doing?
Hey, K-Man, have you ever heard of the song I Believe I Can Fly?
Oh, no. Juggernaut, what do you do, buddy?
I'm hurling K-Man to the nearest
Necro,
cloud-like creature.
Necro, I need you to roll 2 d20s for me, please. 2 d20s, please.
Okay, so first roll. Let's see, it's a 14.
All right, and the second one.
It is a 4.
Okay, so good news, bad news. The good news is K-Mod, with all of his time being hurled by Juggernaut, is able to pull himself in and place his spear forward. He grazes past the creature. His blade slashes through its shoulder, and confetti comes out. The creature takes 4 damage. K-Mod now lands about 10 feet behind that clown, about 20 feet from the next. The next clown turns towards.
You said they weren't clowns.
Yeah, they're clowns. I don't know. I don't want to just give. I don't want to give it away. What they are. I don't want to give it away. The second clown reaches into its pocket and pulls out a massive war hammer made of balloons. He charges forward at K-Mod, swinging his balloon-like balloon wall hammer balloon.
Do I roll a 20?
I'm going to roll, thank you. 5, 7, and 8. He smacks K-Mod with all his might, and as the hammer smashes into his armor, a loud squeaky sound comes out of nowhere. K-Mod is thrown back 10 feet and takes 5 non-lethal damage.
Ooh. Ooh.
Deathgasm, you still with
Like
us?
a call if I ever got one.
Deathgasm, you still with us?
Yeah.
Your move, holy man. Your move. Or unholy man, I guess I should say.
I unsheath my blade.
Okay, and?
I line it up for a critical wounding strike.
Ooh, a wounding strike, okay.
That would
Incapacitate?
that would incapacitate their movement of their legs.
Okay, he's aiming for the legs, so he's actually doing an aim. So, Juggernaut, Necro, D20. He does have disarming strikes. We could do this.
Okay, so I got a 7.
Okay, that's good enough. With extreme speed, he blinks past the first clown, striking its leg. More confetti comes out. The clown creature looks down, grabs its leg, and pulls its own leg off. It's now armed and hopping. K-Mod, you can't move this turn, but you did some damage to the other one, so you're doing well. And confetti is just pouring out of this thing's leg. Just pouring out. My bear. What you doing? Oh no, I mean what you. You are backward necros. You're the furthest from the clowns. But you do have your weapon. You do have your dwarven crossbow. And if you want, you could have your pet go running up and attack too. He can hold on to whatever you want it to do. Your turn. Your move.
I send my pet
Okay.
to the girl in the corner.
Okay.
To guard her.
Oh, smart thinking. The hyena rushes past everyone. It has movement speed of 50, so it can clear the room in a heartbeat. Turns and puts its very large bulk between the woman in the corner and the 2 clown-like creatures. Okay. Now what are you going to do?
I raise my crossbow and take aim.
Take an aim. All right. Let's see what happens when she takes aim. And she takes aim and... Ooh, we're going to pretend that one didn't happen. Oh, jeez. She takes aim and fires her crossbow, trying to avoid hitting the target and everybody else in between her and the targets. She happens to catch one of the creatures right in the dome. And a whistling sound is heard as its head begins to burble and move and slobble as if it's losing air. The first clown, the one that's not injured at the moment, except for his shoulder, turns and looks at the first one and begins laughing. This chilling laugh, just ha ha ha. I need Necro to roll a D10 for each of us. For Deathgasm, Mama Bear, yourself, came on.
Okay.
Now, Jug.
First one was a 1.
Oh, okay, Necro, you're in trouble. Next.
So 0.
Okay, next.
3.
Wait, are you rolling a D20 or the D100?
It's the D20.
Okay.
The 10, you said.
Oh, yeah, D10. Okay, that's 3. Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, I can show you.
No, keep going. Keep going. I trust you. I trust you. There's two more rolls.
Okay, so an 8.
Okay, good.
And then a 1.
Okay, so Deathgasm shrugs off the laughter and snickers at the creature, saying, "Oh, you're funny." The rest of you, however, are shaken by the laughter. It's twisted. It causes a fear effect on all of you. This basically means that you have a -2 to strike these creatures, and you would rather not go towards them. So you can either attack from where you are, or you can stay where you are this turn.
Okay.
So, Juggernaut. Unfortunately, the big bad clown-like creature laughing makes you a little timid to get close to it. What do you do?
I'd like to use my. Go ahead, Necro.
I was gonna say, did you forget about my turn?
Oh, sorry. Necro.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry, man. Your turn.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna use a spell.
Okay, what spell are you casting?
So it's a level 2.
I'm fine with that.
And it's called Acid Arrow.
Okay. I see where this is going. I think.
Range touch attack.
Mhm.
It does 2d4 damage
Okay.
for 1 round plus 1 round / 3 levels. Don't know exactly what that exactly means.
That means it'll last for 2 rounds. Okay, roll 2d4s.
2d4.
That's the triangle twice.
Triangle.
One.
I got a 1.
Classic blunder. Classic blunder.
I got 2 1s.
Okay. 1d4, so that's what's it? 1d4 plus?
2d4.
2d4 plus.
1 round plus 1 round.
Okay, so that's 10 damage because you're cast level. Who are you aiming at? Are you aiming at Whistling Tom or the one that's laughing?
The one that's laughing.
Okay. You conjure the arrow out of acid within your hand and throw it with earnest. Mom Bear snickering the fact that you have to throw an arrow. She's got a crossbow. I mean, you gotta give her credit. The arrow strikes the... which one? You said the one that's laughing or the one that's deflating?
The one that's laughing.
It hits the creature in the chest. The creature stumbles back in pain, its hands slapping at the acid as it's laughing. Its laughing actually gets louder. Everybody takes 1 point of psychic damage as it laughs louder. Juggernaut, you are near nobody. I'm sure you can find something to throw if you want, but there's no way you're going near Thatch.
Is there? What's the attack that I have that I can smash the ground?
Tremor Smash.
Tremor smash.
All right. So that's a 1d6 plus 10. Let's see if he pulls it off. And he does. Okay. Juggernaut Smash once again. Juggernaut raises both his meaty fists up in the air and smashes them into the ground. Necro, roll a d20, please.
So 17.
Ooh, lucky Jug, lucky Jug. So, the smash is enough to knock the clown that's deflating off its feet. It takes 6 damage. The clown that's laughing stumbles backwards a little, but has enough power to keep standing. The clown that's deflating looks towards Necro. It raises its finger at Necro and does a naughty naughty at him. It then starts to swell. Its body getting larger and larger. Its bulbous nose growing. Its skin stretching. A purplish glow of confetti and string underneath of it. And then it detonates. No one's near it at the time, so you're all safe for now. The second clown that's still laughing laughs very quietly. It shuts up. Looks at the little girl. Looks at the girl in the corner. Waves at her, and it begins to swell up and explode. However, there's a bit of a catch. Both Deathgasm and K-Mod are standing next to it, so they take 5 points of non-lethal damage and are covered in silly string and confetti. It's a mess.
We gotta clean you.
It's a mess. You guys are just coated. You guys are just covered. After the two creatures explode, you hear a small chuckling from the shadows. But it's not just coming from one shadow. It's coming from every shadow. Every shadow in the room erupts into laughter. Maniacal laughter. After a few moments, it goes quiet. The woman in the corner suddenly lets out a scream and just falls over. Grimmsnarl, of course, is sitting there trying to nudge her and everything like that. She's unconscious. The stress on her face, the way she is bent, the way her body is, you can tell she has been in a lot. She has seen a lot. All right, guys, including the what appears to be sleeping Deathgasm. He weakens!
Wake your bitch ass up.
You're in a room. You're covered in confetti and all kinds of horrible clown stuff. Some mass laughter has gone on. Two clowns just detonated. And a woman has passed out from screaming and stress. What do y'all do?
I'm gonna say me and Mama Bear should probably work on healing the group.
I
Wise
have a
decision.
healing solution for myself.
What's that?
Take the passed out woman in a closet quick.
Oh my god.
Necro, roll a d20.
I'm joking.
Okay, he's joking. He says he's joking. Okay. I was going to say, roll a d20. Let's see where this
I
goes.
was gonna say, my pet, on the other hand,
Might have
has
some,
other plans.
your pet might have something to say to him about this. By the way, in case you guys...
He's with everybody.
In case you guys...
the time for that.
In case you guys didn't know, Grimmsnarl is a intelligent creature, not just some hyena. It understands common, so it understands the situation. Deathgasm would walk up and be like, "Hey, can I borrow that?" It's just gonna look at her and start growling like, "Okay, maybe later." Okay. So Necro's...
Take the dog.
You may be able to take the dog, but I don't think you can take the room. Incoming technical nuke. So.
I'll just hide in the shadows and keep assassinating.
It only works until somebody finds you.
And with a robotic anime girl that can sense almost everything.
We're supposed to be
And
working as
a
a team,
pet
not trying
that
to
can
kill each
also
other.
do
You guys aren't
things.
against each other. Y'all ain't against each other. Y'all's working as a team here. So.
I mean, he's betraying us over there.
He's not betraying
I mean-
anybody yet.
I mean, I did kind of use K-Man as a baseball bat.
But when have you not?
Luke
I
K-Man.
mean, it's the third or fourth time, man. By now, K-Mod's used to it.
At this point, it's an acceptable.
Hey.
At this time, we're actually carrying
I was knocked out. That was you. Whatever.
Well,
Right
hey,
now,
man,
guys,
you-
you have to face the
You have to
last-
remember, the last time I threw you, you were waking up.
I
Yeah,
think
no.
I need to go get a drink.
So right now, we have to focus on the laughter from all the corners and when it's silent. Not this. We'll do this later. We'll get back to the tavern.
And perhaps the unconscious woman laying on the floor?
Yeah, her later. We gotta deal with everything else
Like
right now.
K-Mod know, though, there is probably going to be an Olympic throwing contest, and he is going to be the javelin.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's...
Was that Deathgasm?
Okay, Necro,
What up, bud?
can you use your sense to see if there's any evil magic.
So
What's
Scan.
we'll just do all scan.
okay?
Necro, you detect a high dosage of poison somewhere on the woman. It's not in her system, but it's on her. You also detect a faint case of chaotic clown goo all over Deathgasm and K-Mod.
You got moved on.
You guys are coded right now. Jeff Chaser says, Jared, hello. Okay, so right now, to sum it up, you're in a room. Two of you are covered in glitter that's literally glowing in the dark. There's an unconscious woman in the corner, and laughter was everywhere that had suddenly went quiet. What do you do?
I'm still going back to the whole me and Mama Bear healing everyone, including the unconscious woman.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so that works out. Now, of course, Necro and Mama both have the heal skill on both healer's kits, so rather than wasting their magic, they're going to use healing to heal up the minor wounds and damage and everything like that. At least none of you got hit by an acidic pie. That was what I was hoping for next round.
I'm planning on dashing back to the door to, get more defensive posture.
That's a good place. So, as you work on the woman, it takes several minutes, but eventually she starts coming through. Starts coming to. And hello, friends of Jared. Hello, Jeff Chaser. As she slowly comes awake, she starts to panic a little, but slowly accepts the fact that she's safe. She looks around the room and, with a simple, quiet, almost inaudible voice, she's like, "Where are they? Those things."
Well, they blew up onto him and him.
They
we
are
cleaned them
over
up,
there,
so they
over
look
there,
presentable.
Yeah.
and up there.
Mama Bear goes there, over there, and up there.
They turned inside out
And exploded. Okay. We got enough detonation jokes here. So, she slowly starts to stand up. Her legs are a bit shaky. And she looks around at the room. And she in a very difficult way, she curtsies towards everyone. You can tell that she is just drained. She has no power left. Her blonde hair is just a rat's nest. She has just been struggling. You can tell by looking under her eyes she has not slept in days. She introduces herself as Mother Miranda. She was originally associated with the church until the church became something else. A cult moved into the church. A cult that just based itself, well, let's just hear from her. The cult itself was strange. They all wore strange faces. They were always happy. Nothing could get them down. I watched a youngling lose her leg, and she only giggled at it and kept hopping and walking, as if her leg was there. No blood came out. She shakes. They did horrible things to the others. They took the practitioners of the church down into the basement and gave them an option. Join the church or die. Of course, none of us wanted to. She killed off Father Malison. She killed off the choir boys. If it weren't for those bronze-headed creatures, she would have killed more. But they didn't. I don't even know. She shakes a little and looks down. The things I've dealt with, the voices in my head, the constantly being followed. They allowed me to walk, but I was never alone. There was always something there. Sometimes it was something massive. Sometimes it was those things. And sometimes. And she grabs herself and pulls herself tightly. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to get out of here. I don't even want to be in this area anymore. If they want, they can strip me of my record. They can strip me of my rank. I'll be a choir girl. I'll be a pub patron. I'll drink until I'm merry. But not this.
Cheers.
And then the snickering is back again. The laughter again. A voice comes into here. A voice that you just can't understand. It's there, but it's not. It's loud, but it's quiet. It's an amalgamation of different voices and sounds. You can make out glass breaking, swords clashing, people talking. Mother Miranda grabs herself. No, no, I won't. I won't do it. No. I know I said I'd do anything, but I won't. I won't. And she screams again. Everyone, prepare yourselves. It's about to get fucked up. A sudden gust of wind, so powerful it even knocks Juggernaut off his feet, rushes into the room. It plows Necro to the wall, plows Mombear to the wall, knocks Grinsnarl off its feet. The woman suddenly screams as if something's grabbing her legs. She screeches for help. She claws at the ground as it pulls her towards the door. She looks up at all of you. Help me! Please, help me! And like that, she goes down the hallway, screaming! And then silence. And just as quickly as it happened, every candle in the room goes out. You're plunged into pitch darkness. What's up, guys?
I'm there. Break out the lights. Me and you.
We got this.
Okay, Mombear and Necro quickly cast their light spells and find themselves not in the catacombs, but in a wooden room with a doorway. The room seems to be well built, a little worse for wear.
But not the room we were in.
But definitely not the room you were in. The room is much smaller. You're able to pick each other up. Juggernaut, of course, needs two people to pick him up because of how much armor he's wearing. I looked at the weight of that blood. No, I'm not kidding. I looked at the weight of that blade armor. I'm sorry, Juggernaut. You're carrying an extra like 80 pounds on you. Like, damn, man, you're strong. But these guys are not the same cap level as you. They're picking up your 200 bulk plus the 80 pounds of armor. Trying not to cut themselves on the blades.
I can get up myself.
Okay, he picks himself up. You hear a stirring, and you hear footsteps. They go closer to the door. Closer. Closer. And then a knocking at your own door. Sorry. Well, guys, any retorts?
Who is it?
Now, normally, I would enact I should not have done this by thrusting my spear right through the door.
No,
But
no, no.
I'll hold off on that. I'll hold off on that.
I got one better. I have one better. Suddenly, I heard a rapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
I would like to bring to the point that was his first thought of putting the spear. His first thought was someone gently knocking on the door and him taking that massive great spear of his and impaling the person with it. He held back.
After it was.
He held back though.
Yeah.
You hear?
We into a little bit of a defensive position with Juggernaut and TMOG standing at each side of the door, and then in the low lit part of the room, Deathgasm hiding in the shadows.
Okay.
Ready to strike.
From the other side of the room, you hear a timid young voice. Not young, but like a teenager young. I'm Choir Bryant, someone in this room. Are you okay?
Yes. We need nightshade.
Yeah.
A bunch of it.
What?
And ale.
What?
And 2 chickens.
What?
And 2 bags of rice. Thank you.
Somebody hungry?
I can see what we can find, but the Bardic College does not have much food left after everything that's happened. Would you prefer to stay in this room? I can find something.
Come inside. Young squire, come inside.
He's from the choir. He's not a squire. He's from the choir.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah.
The door opens up and a young half-elf, roughly as tall as Necro, walks into the room. He wears a standard white tabard and holds a large, menacing wooden spoon in his right hand, which he seems to be clutching defensively as he notices that the room that was once empty is now filled with 5 rather strapping and rather strapped individuals. including one that just thought of impaling him in through the wall. Who would have killed this young choir boy? You are the adventurers that came in through the gate. Wonderful.
Yeah.
The Archibald should know about this. You're alive and safe. He suddenly forgets where he was and runs down the hallway, screaming, Archibald! Archibald, our guests! The ones who will save us! After about 15-20 minutes, you hear the sounds of many feet coming down towards you. By now, you've figured out that you're on the lowest level of the Bardic College. If the high school... Just wait for it.
What the fuck did we all just smoke? God damn it!
Yeah.
Oh, listen, it gets worse from here, friends. It gets much
Did they
worse from here.
spike our food at the tavern?
Oh, if only it were that easy. Coming down the hall is a large, tall, wooden-skinned individual. She stands with a lovely color on her skin. It moves as if it was actual flesh. She has seen better days, but she clasps Necro's hands together in hers and begins shaking vigorously. Welcome to the Bardic College, my young heroes. You've come to save all of us. Sure. I like that.
I'm not trusting any of these motherfuckers, goddammit!
I am the Archibald Wintersgreen. Welcome to the college. Forgive our excitement. We've been trapped here for... And she looks down at the ground. My goodness, how long has it been? She reaches into her hair and begins pulling it around and pulls out a small seed and looks at it. It must have been a while. I've begun growing seeds.
Hey, guys, quick. I think Juggernaut might have another body to carry. Just saying.
Hey, I got a question.
Okay.
You got paper, and do you have something that we can light it with?
Fire will not do good. You see, I am an Ent. Well, I guess you could say I'm more of a Dryad. I was born of both, so I'm able to walk without a tree. I am more related to your elf friend over there, although we have never met. She would be more of a cousin to me. But where were my manners? Come, come. We will bring you food, and we will ask you for our help then. As she walks out of the room, many, many individuals forcefully begin gentle shoving of you guys down the hallway. It's an excitement, like you would see if movie stars were going down the red carpet and suddenly the walls fell on them or something. You know, lots of people.
Let's hope they don't get cut by my armor.
Within minutes, you're ushered up a set of stairs where you start to see battlements, wooden palisades. The older members of the choir are dressed in chainmail or whatever they could happen to find, wielding broken swords or spears, whatever they can hold. Some of them are severely injured, some have lost limbs. They look at you with a battle-worn look on their face, as if they don't know what to think anymore. You are brought into the main chamber, where upon the walls are trophies that have been battered. Some have been crushed into spikes. They bring you out their feast, which is not much, but you can tell they're trying their hardest to make you feel wanted. The bowls are a slight gruel, salty with potatoes and maybe some type of meat, perhaps even rat meat. However, it does taste good enough for you to eat.
Nom, 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 nom.
While you're sitting at the table, the Archibald begins pointing in directions and telling the class what to do. A group of them get up on stage and begin playing a small, quiet song that sounds eerily familiar to Necro. But to everyone else, what a comforting song to eat while you eat your meal. She sits down at the table across from you and begins to tell her tale.
That's dang quick.
Yes.
Would it be the same music that I heard playing at the church?
If you're talking about the music you heard coming from around the church, then yes, that is the same music.
Okay.
However, the music didn't necessarily come from the church itself. It just
appeared that way.
The Bardic College is behind the church, so I mean.
Right.
She begins to tell you her tale, and it's one hell of a sob story. She begins by talking about how the first adventurers came. and they were blessed. She was young at that time. It's been 300 years since she first found her way to the college. She was taught the finer arts and begins talking about her impressive collection of piccolos and other flute and woodwind instruments. And after a while, she begins to look down at her hands. And that's when you can notice that one of her hands is just carved. Almost like she carved her hand into claws. And they're caked in what seems to be blood. She covers her hand up and apologizes, saying that the last few months, the things that they've had to do to keep the college going. She begins talking about how, strangely, these creatures started to approach them. At first in small numbers, but then in larger and larger numbers. She describes the clown-like creatures, the monsters you fought in the moat, but most of all, she explains these strange eagle-headed creatures. Built bodies like a human being, but with an eagle's head, or perhaps a raven's. It's hard to tell when you're being outnumbered by the creatures 12 to 1. She explains that the Bardic College was once a fortress, and it held. However, they've been being pushed back, their numbers slowly dwindling. She speaks about how the college once held 300 members, and was down to nearly 75. Some of them gave up. Some of them stepped out into the fog and were taken. Some of them fought back. Some of them went back to the church to find bronze, the only thing that seems to keep the creatures away. They began using illusion magic to try to keep people away. But they fell to the fog. They fell to the Demios.
What is the Demios?
She looks at you as if she's seen a ghost and shakes herself free. It's simply what we call the creature. In ancient elven tongue, it is he who walks with the mist. But I find that that's much harder for other beings to understand, so Demios is the closest we have. It's something. And she looks around. You hear some giggling and notice a few of the younger kids, the younger, 5, 6-year-olds, are playing. And she looks down. We try to keep it away from them. We would do anything to protect these children. They're all the village has left. Other than the one that got away. We saw her just recently in the fog. She's changed. They got to her.
Yeah, she has a mask on. I believe we encountered her.
She looks at you and shakes her head. Even the adventurers cannot. She nearly knocks through the table as she reaches out for Mama Bear's hand. Pulling it gently into hers. Please, you have to get the children out of here. You have to get us out of here. They attack every day at dawn, and it's approaching. Their numbers grow and our numbers dwindle. We can't fight that many monsters. There will be hundreds of them at the gates in only a few hours. Please! And she starts to cry. Her tears are a greenish substance that just drip down her hand. She shakes violently. And you can tell that she has seen something, or something has seen her. She's looked into the very eyes of the vortex, and it did not blink. It continued to stare. She pulls her hand back and shakes. The children, take the children. She looks, we can stand again. If we don't have them to watch over, we could move to one of the higher rooms and you could come back another night. We could be spared.
I would like to take everyone.
Great host,
Yes.
I do ask you, in order to protect the children or to get them to safety, is there a secret door? Is there a way out?
She looks up and thinks. You can see her mind twitching. Wait, there is a way. But, yes, there is a way. We can. Nearby, there's a sewer grate. It's large, but it's rusted. It's fallen. If we can pull off the sewer grate, we can get into the city. There are other sewer grates in the city. I'm sure we can find one. Or, and then she looks at Juggernaut, or perhaps your large friend here could open a door for us. She's joking about the fact that Juggernaut looks like he's a freaking monster. He's just bound by muscle right now.
I'll open a door, but I would need Deathgasm's body to do it.
I'm pretty sure you have it at this point in time since I heard him snoring.
He's probably slumped over your shoulder right now. She would take us all. You would risk your lives for people you've only just met.
We will protect the children with our lives. But everyone else who's able-bodied to fight will fight.
And not that guy.
Oh,
Honestly,
we'll use him as a punching bag.
He's a shield.
Yeah.
Run, children!
I think we should. Those that are injured, I think we should heal.
Yes. I agree.
That was my first thought.
Okay.
Heal the wounded so that they can join us on the journey safely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say then go for the sewers.
Wintergreen calls to her students. Some come begrudgingly, some don't want to walk away from the doors in case they get attacked. But they all get into the room. Necro drains his magic. Mama Bear drains her wares. But they're able to finally heal everyone. The children, still happy, thinking they're on some kind of field trip, walk up to Juggernaut and then to Mama Bear and ask where they're from and can they leave now. They're so tired. Guys?
Sure.
Juggernaut, they're talking to you and Mama Bear. You guys?
You can leave whenever you wish to.
No, the way I think it should be worded is once everyone's fully ready.
Once everyone's fully healed, yeah.
They prepare at the door. As you walk past, you can tell. You can just tell that they are shaken, that they're scared. Some of them put on a brave face, but as you walk by, you can see it. The clinking of teeth, the shaking of knees. The oldest member of this battalion that you're about to march through is probably about 14 years old.
I would like for Necro to do a scan just in case.
Okay. Necro places his hand on the door and begins to scan. There's nothing out there. Nothing yet.
The youngest of children riding on
You're going to have riding Grimmsnarl?
Grimmsnarl.
The youngest of the children is on the back of Grimmsnarl with a giggle. Grimmsnarl is rightly scared, but also has that look of a determined mother, like, you will not hurt this baby as long as I'm alive. Everyone prepares to leave the door.
Is there an alchemy lab by chance down here?
It's a part of college. There would be no alchemy labs.
Oh. I was hoping for charcoal, sulfur, and potassium nitrate.
You're going to make a bomb. You're going to make a bomb. You're making gunpowder.
Yes.
Twisted monkey.
Why?
Well, you know what? Just for S's and G's, because I don't know why, I'm going to say that he looks around and is able to find amongst some stuff amongst the lost and found to be able to mix them together. What are you making, my friend? TNT? Bombs?
I'm making TNT so we escape. We can collapse the tunnel.
Behind them.
No, you're trying to take the Bardic College down.
To save everybody.
But we'll
If
see
you
what's...
have 100 enemies coming through,
We'll see what's...
the best way to do it is to block one of the entrances so they can't get in.
You open up the door slowly and look out. Dawn is approaching. About an hour's out, maybe 2. But it's coming. From where you're standing, off in the distance, you can make out the fallen gateway. It's not completely fallen off, but with a good help from a jug or two, it could become airborne.
Jug.
You know what your goal is.
Yeah.
You position yourselves around the squad of rowdy and scared individuals and begin making your way towards certain doom. Or, sorry, the escape hatch. The escape hatch, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
You make it about halfway when Necro hears a sound coming from the college. It's that music again. But this time, Necro's looking around, noticing all the students are here. Necro!
I asked the Arc Bard,
Mhm.
where is that? Why is that music happening? And where is it coming from? I heard it once before. I heard it once I got here, and now I'm hearing it again.
Upon looking at the dryad, you notice something. Her skin has turned a reddish color, which to you probably means ghost white. She begins backing away from the college. Run. Children, run! And she begins to bolt. And all the children go with her, almost trampling you guys as they begin running towards the unopened sewer grate. And then you see it. That fog again. It's coming out of the building. It's coming towards you. And this time, it's not slowing down.
Leaving Deathgasm behind.
You begin to run and drop Deathgasm. Deathgasm's body naturally phases into the shadows. Damn it. Anyways, Juggernaut is able to keep pace and pass them. Mom Bear and Necro and K-Mod are trying to keep up. They scramble when they hit the wall. They're screaming. They're trying to pull. They're trying to fit the children through the grating, but they can't do it. It's a catastrophe. They're slipping in the mud. They're terrified. They're panicked. This is not just fear. This is pure madness.
Juggernaut,
I run right through the gate.
Juggernaut moves so quickly around them that they're knocked back. He grabs onto the grating and whips it through the air. This will have no consequences later. Anyway, and Juggernaut is the first through the grate, followed by what appears to be a storm of people. As you're waiting there, Grim Snarl is standing next to Mama Bear with the little girl going, move it, move it, move it, on her back.
Single file!
Single file, no panicking.
Everybody remain calm!
The fog chases you until the end of the pipe and stops. It's about an hour later when you finally emerge from another pipe. This pipe happens to be on Main Street, and you're gently able to remove everybody. And by remove, I mean Juggernaut standing his turn, smacking everybody who comes out in the face for causing such a ruckus.
No, not me!
No, and came on. Okay. But something's wrong. As Mama Bear and the Lash get out of the pipe, you look, and there's a mob of villagers, all with their masks on, all looking at you. An old man walks up with a joyful laugh. Why, what have you brought us? Why, it looks like some people who could use a good smile. Come with us. We'll give you a nice warm meal and you'll never have to worry about pain again.
Okay, we gotta fuck these people up, motherfucker. Hang on, wait, hang on. I got the song. Hang on, give me a second. How many people want to kick some?
Okay, so just to give you guys a heads up, these are villagers. They are like farmers and bartenders, and you guys are about to go absolutely apeshit on these people?
Why not?
I don't trust them.
I did not predict this was going to happen. Give me a second.
Alright, before we start the whole entire town.
Let's make this rationally here, huh? Maybe.
I approach the gentleman that approached us first, and I say, who's in charge?
The old man walks up to K-Mod's armor and places a hand on it. Looks up and goes, none of us are in charge. We just want to bring happiness. Don't you want to be happy? From this distance, you can
Take
tell
your
that...
hand off my armor, or you'll lose it. I'm not in the mood for frivolities right now.
Just
I
give
stand
me the
Return to your
behind-
homes, or you will die.
I stand behind K-Man and say, if you have a problem with him, you've got a problem with me.
The old man looks up at you, and you notice something. The hand that he placed on K-Mod, it's not there. K-Mod can feel something pressing on his chest, but there's nothing there.
Grim Snarl starts growling.
And Grim Snarl starts growling. The old man smiles. You can kill me if you want. That would bring me nothing but endless joy. For you see, we are all joy seekers here. And you notice that the numbers begin to swell. What was once a couple dozen is now 100 people blocking off your path. You could easily take them, but there's just more coming. It's like a Resident Evil game or something where no matter how many times you put down the enemies, there's just more coming. Like Resident Evil 4, but they're not throwing anything but a party for you. They're not harming you. They're not fighting you. But there's this sense of creepiness. It's there. They're all still smiling. They do not care about your threats. They're not frightened. Juggernaut can sense it. There is no fear in them.
Morally, we can't do anything unless they attack.
That's kind of the point. That's where the standoff comes. There's a whistling sound, though. It's getting louder. And louder. And it sounds an awful lot like, and then there's a crashing sound. All the townspeople turn to look to see a part of a building come collapsing down with a sewer grate stuck in it.
Hey, Jug. You took out
Yes.
a building, man.
What's that?
You took out a building, man. Nice.
They all turn and simply just stare at the building as if they forgot you were even there. And then you see something. First of all, the building gets picked up. Not just fixed by magic, but literally seems to get picked up. And shoddily pushed back on top of where it was. As if something's just like pushing, like flailing to hold it up. And then the people start to laugh. And they begin to cheer. And then Cynthia turns around, and you recognize her. And she giggles a little, and she goes, he's right, you know. We don't need to worry now. Eventually, they'll join us. Everyone joins us. The little 6-year-old takes two strangers' hands, and they all begin to dissipate, pushing themselves off into the distance.
I'm gonna burn that motherfucking cult.
We're not dealing with the cult, we're dealing with the god. Oof, I don't like this.
I think we need to regroup and think about this.
Yes. But where to go?
You hear a cheering sound, but this is a different type of cheering sound. Adventurers! Adventurers, my friends! Rushing up out of breath is Skitch, your bardic friend.
I point the spear towards him.
No.
Whoa,
What
my
have
friend.
you
I'm not one of
done?
the masked. I'm not one of the masked.
That's not him, dude. He
I
was
sheathe
the
my
one
blade.
that left us at the beginning to get in. I did
Bard,
it.
Yes,
Bard, I have a
We've been
question.
through a lot. We've been through a lot.
yes, Juggernaut. I may have to change my trousers, but how can I help you?
Is there a place that that everyone can sit down and speak our minds without being disturbed?
He looks around quickly. Winterbark, take your followers to the castle. Find the prince. He'll guard you. But the rest of you, come with me. He slowly begins to walk off down. Everyone says their goodbyes, including the young half-elf who crawls off of Grimsnarl's back, looks up meaningfully at Mama Bear, all sad that she has to get off of her hyena, gives her a huge hug around the neck and says, "I'll be back, and I'll ride your horsey again." Grimsnarl snorts, thinking that he's a horsey. He's a freaking hyena, but she called him a horsey. And she goes giggling after the rest. Wintergreen simply bows and says, "One day, I will help you. I swear it." And she walks off. However, you're no fools. You slowly walk with her until you can see her reach the castle. The door opens up. The prince grabs hold of one of the individuals and starts to cry, and then ushers everyone in quickly before the gate of the castle closes. You follow Shtick for a while until he returns to the bar. He walks in and motions the rest of you to sit at the table.
I do apologize for threatening you with my spear.
It's all right, my friend. Well, I have a change of clothes. It's what my wife left me.
Good, because it kind of smelled like shit earlier.
I feel like shit right now. He clasps
Pour
his...
some mead before we talk. We need it.
He walks behind the bar and begins pouring everyone a drink. He sits down and looks at everyone. The other adventurers left this morning. The town is a ghost town now. The people just appear and disappear at will. I don't even know what's happening anymore. I woke up with a knock on my door and one of those masked individuals was smiling at me. She told me to watch over the bar for a while. They had other things to do. And I feel like perhaps I should stay in the bar. But tell me, what has happened? What happened to the sector? What happened to the cathedral? Tell me, I must know.
Okay, so we got really fucked up on some shit from this fucking fog.
You tell your tale, the ups and downs, the lefts and rights. You leave out the creepy clowns and make it sound like something more impressive, like lizard men or something like that, because the idea of having clown goo on you and being attacked with an acidic pie doesn't sound all that too intriguing.
Hard.
Yes?
What happened to the festivities?
They ended this morning when the adventurers went on their quest. You're only an hour behind them. I'm sure if you try, you could catch up. They went off to the east. I only wish them the best.
What?
I don't know. Give them a second. They went off to the east to pick up pack animals. They'll travel north to the main road, and then they'll head west into the forest. The large cliff base in the middle of the island makes it very hard for us to cross over. So if you tried, and he looks at everyone, I don't think you should. Something's wrong. It's different this time. He looks around. They're not here, but they're always here. He seems to be almost mad, almost crazed at the thought. Those masked individuals, they never miss a day. But something happened. Something changed. While you were out, they began to look at the religious sector. All of them. He looks around, hoping to see someone, but he doesn't see anybody. During the festival, after you got in, the guard came back, and they were there. They were just staring. And as he walked past, they just stared at him. And then they looked, and they stared at the religious section. They must have spent an hour staring at it. And then they went back to what they were doing. Now, just to catch up with you with the time limit, the hour would be the time between when you entered and when the entity disappeared. The big thing that would be about an hour's worth of time. It's after
the big thing that came in and shoved his spear into.
Oh yeah, the one that he became very familiar with. It hugged him with its hand. Hand hug.
The one that you threw came in.
No. I'm talking about the one in the bed.
Oh yeah, what happened to that one?
You'll find out. Don't worry, you'll find out.
Are you talking about the bed, or are you talking about the 30-foot?
I'm talking 30-footer.
Okay.
That's about an hour.
The one that I pitched The one that I pitched K-Man into like a lawn dart.
Yeah, the one that you caught, and he's like, ah, you know. He then says they went back to the festivities like there was nothing happening. But come the dawn, something changed. After the heroes left, they all came to the center of town. Or at least that's what I was told. And then they knocked at my door and told me to watch over the bar. And then they left again. And now it's quiet. Eerily quiet. He takes a look at you guys. Don't go to the docks. The boats aren't there.
Why?
He looks down to the ground and back. We don't know. The prince demanded answers, but no one would give him any. The boat's just up and left. The island's alone. We don't know what's happening now. We're cut off from the outside world.
So what you're telling me, Bard, is these masked town people are even betraying the prince that made it wonderful here.
Yes, and the worst part is, they're not even the cultists.
Question mark? I thought they were.
He looks at you strangely. You believed they were cultists?
Oh, hi, morning, sunshine. Sorry.
Good night,
Bard.
Good night, Deathgasm.
Bard,
Yes.
do you happen to have a library with manuscripts?
Why, yes, we do. It's right down the street. It wouldn't take us much time to get there at all.
I would like to look over the manuscripts of the last 2 years to see if there's any other disturbances or any scribes have jotted down any abnormal occurrences.
Very well.
Before.
I'll make sure that the library is open for you. Does anybody else need anything?
Blacksmith.
Well, actually, beforehand, I would like the prince to come here because he did say, maybe there would be a handsome reward for us traveling there.
I will go see the prince after this and see if he can show up. If not, I'll bring the reward with me, even if it means I have to bring it kicking and screaming.
Okay.
I heard someone scream blacksmith.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to hold off on the blacksmith, because that would be more gold for us. And, depending on what the reward is, then we know what we need to get.
Of course. Anybody else need anything while he's gone? It's like he's running an order for Uber. Come on, guys. Anybody else need anything? I got it right here. Nobody?
Do you have a chance an alchemy shop?
We do have an alchemy shop. I do not believe the owner is home right now, though. So what goods you would have to get would have to come from either secondhand or Five Finger. He takes a look at K-Mod with a slight glare.
That'll do nicely.
Wink, wink, wink.
Wink,
No
hint.
touch.
And considering I can't do anything with magic, so I'm kind of good.
Because there's one item I need to acquire.
He wants to acquire the holy hand fucking grenade, motherfucker.
The holy hand grenade of Antioch.
He takes a look. He takes a look at you. But sir, Antioch is 700 leagues north of us. The holy hand grenade's held there in the temple.
That's what I said. I kid.
I'm sure your juggernaut friend could throw you to it.
So he wants to prove the holy hand grenade of fucking
Antioch.
K-Mod then.
Okay.
K-Mod.
I believe, my friends, that check when the prince does come back with a reward, or when we do get the reward, to go to the library to find out more information. There's bound to be some
Knowledge?
text or knowledge depicting whether or not there's been some weird occurrences beforehand. And if there's any ledgers with some codes we can decipher.
The prince.
What say you, friends?
Sure. Makes sense.
But above all, we have to make sure that the Archbard and the children are safe. I do not want to come to the castle and rush to the castle and find them happy.
In that kind of way.
Yeah.
He agrees and leaves. Those of you who have nothing to do decide to take some leisure in your rooms and perhaps catch a few winks. After all, you've kind of been awake for about 24 hours.
Robot girl, I don't need sleep.
You don't need sleep, but I mean, like, Juggernaut probably needs a nap. Mama Bear would probably be better off with a short rest. Because she's an elf, she doesn't need to, she just needs to meditate.
I'm just gonna meditate again.
You're a robot girl. You just need to be plugged in.
No, I
can
am
help with
never
that.
tired of sleep.
Can I roll D20 for that? I can help. I'll roll D20.
You better not grab the wrong plug port or else she's going to be upset with you.
Motherfucker, I come packing, motherfucker. The Dragoon armor might not be able to withstand what I come. We don't even know if we leveled up yet.
That is true, yeah.
No offense. I want to kind of make a punch you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an ability I have.
Not yet, but you're getting it.
Yeah.
So anyways, now that we'll deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, he leaves. A few hours pass, and it's just eerily quiet.
He hasn't come back yet.
He hasn't come back yet.
Right now we're just like resting and relaxing.
Yeah, you're all just
relaxing.
well, if you can relax, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a few hours. He hasn't been back yet. I think we need to search for him.
As Juggernaut says that, you hear footsteps, slowly making their way towards the door. In through the door comes an individual whose entire upper body is covered in crates. You can't see who it is, but you can kind of tell by the pants that it's Shtick.
A bard.
It's Shtick. Shtick clumsily makes his way to the desk where he drops off boxes of provisions, fruits, a few healing potions, some really good delectable stuff, a few rubies, emeralds, and about 150 gold. He pants and wheezes and hands a set of books over to TMOG to look through as he stopped by the library on the way.
Thank you.
And he hands Mama Bear a stick figurine that the little girl that was riding on Gribbsnarl made for her.
Aww.
It was all she could do. He pants and wheezes and falls into the chair and says, "This is the second most exhausted I've been in my life. The first was when I seduced my wife. That was exhausting. But as you snack on a few delectable fruits, put your healing potions away. Yes?
Guys, just do that again.
Say what again?
About when he seduced his wife.
Oh. Yeah. The second most exhausted. Most exhausted is after I seduced my wife. Okay, enough of that one. Thank you very much. A thank you. And a thank you. You pass the next 2 hours away looking through the books, eating fruit, taking turns resting. You find a few interesting things in the books, but it's as you expected. It's smudged. Somebody had done a very good job of hiding the records. The records claim that the island was a prospering paradise, that people were moving in droves. But from what you've seen of the island, you can tell that that's not true at all. Someone has smudged the files over the past 5 years. An interesting thing to take, though, is that there's been an increase in the amount of amethyst coming to the island. However, Shtick tells you that it has not been going to his brother or any of the other noble clan. He has no idea where the amethyst is going, just that it's amethyst. It's strange, such a poorly designed mineral would be hauled in such large numbers and just go missing. Just a quick notice that in this world, amethyst is like play jewelry, basically. It's very common. For them to be bringing in 1,000+ pounds of ship cargo and it not be somewhere is kind of off-putting.
Right.
Necro. Amethyst is a really good conductor with magic.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know.
It is actually. He also hands a few things to K-Mod, a few chemicals, if you will.
Yes.
He unfortunately tells you that the blacksmith is not where he was. He is missing. In fact, all the stores seem to be devoid of people.
I said we're going right in the motherfucking store soon.
So does I. Loot galore.
Roll a d20.
Uh,
Let's roll a d20.
I got a 19.
I got a 19 as well, actually.
Well, fucking piece of Anyway, you go and
What was that?
you go and appropriate a few things from the local shops. Unfortunately, since it was a less than warfaring island, the blacksmith has mainly pots and pans, buckets, and a few cheaply designed swords. Nothing that would interest any of you. The armor shop is devoid of anything that isn't leather armor, and well, it's just something that you guys don't need. After all, it is the tropics. I don't know what y'all were expecting. K-Mod giggles as he walks past the alchemy shop that has a window busted, and giggles at Shtick, who's also giggling in the background.
I used my head.
I'm guessing he was thrown through by Juggernaut, but I don't know. Anyway.
No.
There was a door, there's a window, I used my head.
Mama Bear walks past the pet boutique and happens to give her hyena a new too or something like that. Gives it like a new mohawk, you know. It's blue now, light blue, you know,
Nice.
glow in the dark. Anyway, after you're done appropriating the village that invited you here to help them,
They're gone.
yeah, chaotic good my ass. Anyway, freaking evil right here. The prince lays.
That's the only alignment I ever picked.
The prince lays down, or sorry, not the prince. Shtick lays down the plan, or at least as far a plan as he can. He says, if you're not willing to go off and get pack animals, I would suggest you just head west from here. You can head directly into the forest, which would be the quickest route. However, that forest is teeming with lizard men right now, and it's, well, there's a reason why a bard like me is not going out into that woods right now.
Bard, you're coming with us.
I do not want to be
Your
rutted.
Charisma.
It's rutting season. I'm not going out there. You would be dealing with angry and horny lizard men.
Oh,
You-
fuck.
You don't want either side of that coin. But he goes, but there is a chance. By the castle, there's an old mine. One of the mine shafts, if you simply go straight, simply go straight.
Yeah, we're off to the right of the
I
line shaft.
call you. It will lead you directly to the original entry point, the original location where they originally began digging. You probably won't find much there, but there's no telling what you could find.
Dragon. One fine dragon.
No more.
Bard, you're gonna help us seduce it.
All right, donkey, that's enough.
Okay, Don Quixote, calm yourself down, sir. You're as charismatic as I am. Why don't you go after a dragon?
You have music, charisma.
You have a giant spear.
More than one way.
Woo!
Alright. Back on task. So, if we use the pack animals, what road do we take? Thank you.
If you were going to take the pack animals, you would head east. Stop by Parliament Core, get your pack animals, and then head north. This will lead you to the closest location, but will take you several days.
What say you, friends? Do we enter the forest into the mines? Or do we take pack animals and head north into the east?
I say we go through the mines.
Mines
I
of
agree
Moria.
with the mines.
Alright, mines
I
it is.
think the mines would be the best route.
All right. You gather up your
Stick to the shadows.
You gather up your supplies and begin making your way downtown, walking fast. People pass you.
I'm homebound.
Anyways, as you walk towards the cave, there's somebody there at the cave. whoever it is off very far in the distance. And they seem to be carrying something. You can't make it out. They seem to be another adventurer, perhaps. They wave at you and then walk into the mines. Shtick takes a look. No one would know about the mines except for perhaps a random adventuring party, but that's a lone adventurer. Where is he going? Why is he going into the mine?
Good question.
There we go. I can only imagine how. Just, good question. Thank you, sir. Stick leads you to the entrance of the mine and looks in. He can't make out anybody, but the mine is huge. It's deep. It goes up and down. You couldn't see anybody if you looked straight into the mine. And it's dark. Not super dark, as there are lit candles along the walls, but it's dark enough that if somebody wanted to, they could lurk in the shadows and run out and go booga booga booga. He says the mines are currently in use. Well, they were until the miners became members of the Faced, but it should lead you right through. It should take you only a handful of hours, maybe 2. He stands by the edge of the mine and looks back at everyone. Is everyone ready for this? I'm not much of an adventurer, but I have some magic. I am a bard after all.
That is true.
I have
true.
charisma. And he winks at Mama Bear. I have
Oh my.
I have charisma.
I
Smiles
stand
and
proudly.
shakes her head.
Mama
at the
just
entrance.
no. No.
I stand proudly at the entrance of the mine. Spear aloft my head. Unga bunga, we go mining.
How can you go from standing heroically to unga bunga and running? Let's follow him, guys.
Necro,
What's up, bud?
could you scan for anything? Poison,
That was just
magic,
before my thing.
Keep on, backs out real quick. I'll wait.
We're gonna make him run in first, then I'll do my scan because no.
Other than slight particles of iron in the air, which is understandable to be in an iron mine, you don't sense anything.
All right.
And off we go.
Better safe than sorry.
Now, if you guys want to explore any of the mine, you can, or you can go straight. That's up to you guys. It's your adventure, after all.
We go straight.
Let us go straight.
For now.
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
straight it is.
You go straight.
And then again, it's the dungeon master. I mean, he could say, go left, go left, go left. You know. Yeah.
Give you guys the option. You go straight.
But it's kind of dark, so.
Yeah, but we have light spells.
Yeah, seriously, like, you guys are set up. Plus, in case you guys didn't know it, Neko can literally see in the dark.
Oh, okay.
Basically, like flashlight eyes, like.
Vision goggles.
Yeah. Within about the first 2 hours, you have seen nothing. A few creaks here, the sound of some Tommyknockers there. Usual things you would hear in a mine.
Bats?
Oh, yeah, bats, you know.
Yeah.
Perhaps you see a small rat or something like that. An individual waving at you from the shadows just outside of your reach.
What's the mark there of that last part?
While you're walking through, every now and then you happen to catch a glimpse of the same individual from earlier. Doesn't seem to be causing any harm, but the strange part is Necro can't seem to scan him. He seems to be constantly keeping just out of his scanning range.
If a death guy's in pulling this, I'm gonna stab him in the thigh.
Stab him in the... He's in a small box in Juggernaut's backpack right now. Just,
Oh, okay, never mind.
So he's pinhead right now.
yeah, he's pinhead.
Oh.
Okay, so you reach the central core, the central shaft of this hard, thick maze. Shtick looks around. This is the main core. This is where we used to mine the ore, the iron, a few jewels here and there. He walks over and picks up an old pick. At least it looks old until he shakes the dirt from it. You realize it's brand new. Not a mark on it. He goes, but then the face started to show up. He looks at the pick and just throws it to the ground. And all our mining stopped. Well,
Bard,
yes.
do not move a muscle. Anyone. This is a juggy hole. We did not ask permission to enter this hole. Back away very slowly.
Almighty Juggernaut, do we have permission to pass through your hole? We'll be gentle. We'll be gentle passing through your hole.
Bard.
Oh no, I'm gonna roughly go through that hole. Oh,
Bard, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you a dwarf and you're digging a hole? Diggy hole.
I'm not digging a hole, no.
There you go. I have something in there.
Toss
too,
me.
because
Don't
you
tell
said
me.
that before.
I'm right here. Toss me.
I know, I'm just lying
But
about
don't tell the elf. She's right there. You make your way through. Another 2 hours pass. And every now and then you catch a glimpse of that adventurer again. Just out of Necro's reach. Just stopping, turning, and waving back at you. And no matter how fast or how slow you go, he always takes a few steps and just gets out of your reach. Just out of your vision. You find yourself at the end of the Jugger Hole. The star-shaped entrance. Or exit, depending on which way you're going.
Ooh.
A chocolate starfish shape. If you... And you all thrust your way outside of that hole. And a strange amount of gas flows out behind you. But anyway, you find yourself at a marble-looking quarry. The white sheen of the rock everywhere. Turned over barrels filled with things. And in the center, a small altar. Shtick hops down a small ledge and begins walking towards the altar. This is where it began. This is where we found the first artifact. He runs his hand on the pedestal. It was nothing. It was a plate. A gold-colored plate with symbols on it. And that's when the madness started. He walks.
Where is this plate now?
Gone. Stolen by thieves. Taken by the sea itself. I wish we knew where it was. All we know is it's not on the island anymore. The first group of adventurers made sure of that. After finding the plate, they went mad. Slaughtered countless citizens. Commandeered a boat and began to sail. The boat, of course, was sadly under repair. The patchwork gave free. It sunk with them attached to it. The idiots didn't think of taking off their armor. I can't figure out what the hell's wrong with them. Full plate armor, they can't swim in that crap.
Oh, that's true.
Hint to everyone. Hint.
I
Anyway.
don't know what he's talking about. Huh? I can swim. I can swim good.
My wife! Anyway, he looks,
Bard,
yes.
when you were describing this, why didn't you tell us beforehand, before entering the church, that you had an artifact, and why tell us now?
Because all the artifacts keep moving. They keep leaving the island. Every time someone finds an artifact, it's the same story. Their entire party goes mad. They try to rush off with it. And they sink at sea. In fact, there's stories of a giant tentacle that came out of the water the one time and grabbed the boat and pulled it under.
Nope. Not going on the ocean. Fuck this shit.
What's the matter, Goods? What's the matter, Good Man? A phobia of tentacles, perhaps?
Only going to tickle you.
For the first few inches. Anyway, He shakes a good laugh and looks around, and he points towards a small path up the cliff. That's where it is, though. That's where you'll find it. The new dig
Where
site.
we'll find what?
The new dig site. He looks at your party, where you will find your way inside. You'll enter the cave from up there and make your way inward to the central core, or as close as you can to it. I do not know what dangers lurk within that cave. Giant spiders, drow, clowns, any number of horrible creatures could be in there.
Bard,
Yes.
how do you know about these clowns?
Yeah, we never told you about motherfucker. What you know? What you know?
If you must know, several years ago, well, I guess I should say more like several decades ago, he shakes his head. Forgive me, we elves live long lives. To my father, I am but a child, and I'm in my 300s. It sucks, really. I can't get a drink. I'm the minor. No? Nobody? He's holding a mining pick. He's minor. Anyway, I'm done with it.
I got the joke.
Okay. A strange comet collided with the island, but it wasn't a comet. It was some strange red and some kind of top. A big one at that. And out from it came these horrific creatures. These clown killers from another world or something.
From outer space.
Perhaps, or perhaps worse. Our guards fought them off as much as we could, but they're still here. They're not threatening, though, anymore. I don't know why. At first, they would kill people. Popcorn guns and shadow puppets that could kill and eat you. And now they just show up and wave. Unless you do something threatening to them. Like throw a friend at them with a great spear, or take a leg off or something. They might get a little upset with you there. Other than that, they just kind of sit there and wave at you. Kind of creepy, like. Kind of like everything that happens on this frickin' island now that I think about it. Oh, and there are earth nymphs down there too, but you want to just step away from them if you can. I try to avoid them.
My fine companions.
I find companions.
Did we completely forget about that one woman we found in the cavern that was dragged off in the mist?
What woman? You seem to have skipped this part of the story, my friends. What happened?
Mother, was it
Miranda? Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
You met Mother Miranda. Where is she? What happened? I asked you to save her.
That's a good question, and if I wasn't on the drugs I was on, then I might be able to answer it.
You're a robot. You're unaffected by drugs.
Motherfucker, they found something that would affect my ass.
The bard.
Otherwise, these other ones are way out of fucking whack.
The bard simply cups his hand in his head and just shakes his head back and forth. You said she was drug off by some mysterious force. I've heard of this. Some of the adventurers within the caves stated that they saw their parties, being pulled off into other parts of the cave by some kind of wind or force, something that was there and then wasn't. But every year, the effects don't happen until closer and closer to the core. I fear the core for some reason. I've never seen it before. I don't know what it is. But recently, everything has begun happening. The Faced, those strange copper-headed choir creatures, the clowns, the shadow demons. Everything seems to be happening, and it all seems to be charged towards the core. I begged my brother to leave the island with me, to take heed, but my brother, he can't. He refuses to leave the people. His people. I tried to explain to him that they weren't his people anymore, that they were something else, and we had a falling out about a century ago. I tried to warn him, but he just wouldn't listen. For some strange reason, we elven kind seem to be unaffected by the masked. They don't bother us. But if you're anything else, an orc, a dwarf, a human, they are super friendly. They walk up and smile and have a good time. But the faced, they're different. They're human, but they're not. They don't eat. They don't sleep. But they walk and talk like we would. In fact, with strange bursts of strength and ignorance of their own wounds. I saw one the other day. A woman that got caught in the collapse. She was walking around and holding a flower. But her one leg and half her body, her arm, they were all torn off. But they were there. They just weren't. It's as if there's something there, some kind of force or something that's holding them together. And those masks, the smiling, happy-go-lucky masks. The seller of masks would know more. He would know all. But he hasn't been seen in over a century. The mask maker himself. He refused the faced. Told them he would never make a mask for them. Said their masks were wrong. And the face simply laughed and said that they would get him to change his mind one day. I don't even know if he's still here. Perhaps he left on a boat. Plenty of them come in and out.
Got a question.
Answer.
By any chance, is there a strange looking moon that has a face?
I was waiting for someone to catch on to that. No, there's no faced moon. Necro looks up, there's no faced moon. Just two regular moons like regular. He caught on. Necro caught on to it.
I was going to keep it going, but okay.
He kept looking for this person named Majora. Anyway, he looks up the hill and goes,
I can't eat deco nuts. I'm allergic.
I'm allergic to deco nuts.
How about these nuts?
Did he have an ocarina with him?
One of time. Anyway,
I bought a horse, a Napona.
Shtick starts to walk up the path. He tells you the stories of the people who've come, the people who dug, the people that were so happy before they became happy.
Wow. Oh, that's really good. Is it thunder and lightning outside, or?
That was
that was Cody.
That was really good. I like that.
Heart pumping.
Cody and a cat.
Oh, heart pumping. Cody, you okay? He hit the ground like a freaking meteorite. Anyway.
He went
Why,
diving
that
after
set them off?
dice. I don't know.
I do not know what happened. I just. He tells you about how it was always the same. The adventurers would come, and they'd dig or they'd adventure, and it would be so fun to watch. And then they would just change. Some would die, some would go missing, some would become the faced, others would go crazed with power and run off with the artifacts. As you get to the top, there they are again, the faced, as he calls them. They've built a camp, a very large and very beautiful camp. As you come over the edge, they look in shock, but smile. Adventurers! Oh! You took a shortcut. You're days ahead of the rest of the party. Perhaps you'd like to wait. We have festivities. Or perhaps you'd like to go and explore.
I'd like to murder you all. But that's the nice one.
So you do a little weapons training on these fair folks. They smile too much.
You guys realize it's a mask, right? It's their face because they got a mask on. You wouldn't get anything. They're villagers. They're like 1/4 of an encounter level. You'd have to kill hundreds of them just to get one experience point.
Sounds like there are 100.
No, there's just a handful of them. Don't you hear me? A handful of them.
But see, that's what happened the last time.
You're right.
There was only a handful. And then we
And then
turned
they
around
come
and
in.
blinked.
I come in.
They'll be a test subject.
I'm in.
If we killed the handful now, we could see if they come back to life.
As you get all
Wow.
bloodthirsty,
Reanimated.
Shtick steps forward. My friends here are tired, and we'd be glad to rest, if you wouldn't mind. He's pouring on that charm, you know,
Faking it.
faking it. He's not doing as well as he does with his wife. His wife knows he doesn't fake it. He gives her the full charisma. Anyway, they look at him and smile and bow. We were told not to let anything happen to the adventurers. Don't worry yourself. One day, Shtick, you'll understand that being happy is the greatest thing to be. We don't care anymore. We'll serve them food, give them massages. It doesn't matter what they ask, we'll do it. And in the end, they'll enter the cave. I kind of gig it. Yeah. Your charisma's gonna get you something. Anyway. They approach, smile, and bow. Except one of them is strange. As they sit up from the bow, you notice that one of them isn't wearing a mask. She simply smiles. You can tell by looking at her that something's not right. She's not an elf. She's not a tiefling. She's not even as a mirror. She's not quite human, but not quite a monster. She simply smiles.
She's the child we encountered.
She's a full-grown woman.
Oh.
She's a full-grown. I described her as a woman. Is she the child? Necro. Someone. He is right. They found some kind of drugs.
Murderous rage on hold.
I'm gonna
for
put my murderous
half an hour,
rage
half
on
an hour.
half hour, 45 minutes tops.
Yeah.
She introduces herself as Skyla. And she says she doesn't even know what she is. But she smiles and welcomes you all. Her fingers are webbed, so she's probably some kind of Nereid. But she can't tell her own race because when she was young, she just found herself on the island one day.
Why is she here with the people?
Well, remember what they said, that they don't affect certain groups. It could be she's just one of those groups. But if you want to ask her, she'll explain.
Yeah.
She goes, they tried to put a mask on me when I was a child, but the mask fell off. They tried to put it on me again. It fell off, so I picked it up and held it on, just to make them smile. They giggled and laughed and said I didn't have to. That if I understood that being happy and serving people, I'd have a great life. And so here I am. I am at your service. Except for you, you creepy weirdo. Shtick looks at her. Listen, I said it once, I'll say it again. I am sorry about that night at the pub.
Hello, my name's K-Man.
Slides in. Hi, my name's K-Man.
She looks at you and says the robot chick has a better chance than
Oh, don't worry, K-Mod will get something later on. I got him planned for that one. Anyway.
And I'm just standing there embarrassed that I'm with these two knuckleheads.
In Juggernaut's head, he's like, I could be leading an army right now.
Hard.
I could be punching some iron. I could be punching somebody. But no, I'm stuck with these two frickin' morons.
I could be punching something. I could be throwing something.
Well, quick, reach into your box and start punching around. Eventually you'll hit
Yes.
sarcasm.
Yes. And yes.
Hard.
Yes.
And here I was about to
Do
kill
you
everybody.
know
Huh.
this young woman?
Shtick is taken back, but says, yes, this is Skyla. I believe she's a Nereid. My brother and I found her when we were children. But the face found her, too. She's been like this for a while. She cocks her head to the side with a smile. What do you mean, Shtick? Nothing, Skyla. Perhaps you could get some massage oils or something. She smiles, nods, and walks off.
Bart, I have a question.
Yes.
What did you mean about you're sorry what happened that night?
Uh,
Maybe
Yes,
a later
do tell.
time.
the bard looks around nervously. Skyla, I'm coming to help you, and he runs off to catch up with Skyla.
This is good, my friends. We found some respite from our travels. And here I was about to murder everybody.
Or some people call it respite.
That is true, yes.
Well-
I should stay my blade for now.
You all decide that since these people have promised, and they seem to hold their promises very highly, that you will spend the night and start off in the morning. What adventures await? What battles are to be held? Will Juggernaut get to throw K-Man again? Will Necro bring out his attachments? Will Mama Bear get sick and tired of all these numbnuts and go off on her own?
Well, amen. Will Deathgasm stay awake?
All this and more next time on the Monsters of Desktop.
Yay!
But until next time, folks, I'm Kaiju K.
I'm Necro Nick.
I'm Juggernaut Jared.
I'm K-Man.
And I'm Mama.
And that's Sleepy Asshole.
And I'm Deathgasm. Love me, everybody. And we'll see you all in the future, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.